if suppose I have given you that example for MCQ, we can give only 2 marks because those examples carry at least 5 marks. Okay, whenever you are going to solve that example. So the question may be solve the example or if some theorems are ज़्यादा theorems तो नहीं है हमारे इसमें. So if it is like that you have to solve that example and you have to put the image, PDF, whatever you want to put. You can put the image or PDF in that corresponding question, and somewhere in the below of that question you will have to upload any PDF, image, spreadsheet, whatever you can upload, and some MCQ questions will be there. Okay, because actually to type on a one question which is of mathematics and it is of integral equation in our Google form, it is somewhat difficult because square also it counts as a cap raised to 2. So symbols of integration and all is not possible to type on a that Google form. And for that we have to type it on that Word file and all, and then we have to take a screenshot of that particular question and then we have to put it on that particular question. So that's why it may be consisting of theory as well as MCQ. That I have already told you in the group itself that it will be of 30 marks and it consists of MCQ as well as theory questions. Okay. Now let us go for the next point that we have to complete in our numerical analysis. Is there any doubt in the up to today's lecture, or we have started with the errors now? Error, and then we have seen the round off of a number, and then we have gone for the first method, that is a bisection method. I think example also we have solved for a bisection method. Any doubt?
Hello, ma'am.
I
have doubt. मॅम ते 5 इटरेशन पर्यंत आपण एक्झाम्पल सॉल्व केलं, मग तिथं ते क्वेश्चन होता की ऑप्टेन स्मॉलेस्ट पॉझिटिव्ह रूट. मग ते स्मॉलेस्ट पॉझिटिव्ह रूट त्या 5 इटरेशन मधून कसं चूज करायचं?
Actually, what is the main thing about this now? Suppose I have performed the iterations. Okay, I think you haven't gone with this of that. Somewhere after the proof, I have written one statement that how the error will be smaller as you increase the number of stage. Okay, what do you mean by error? It is nothing but the let me write down the value of error is say we have performed the en plus 1 is equals to, that is alpha minus xn plus 1. Okay, what is xn plus 1? The root which we have obtained. Okay, what was the consideration? Suppose this is what a naught, b naught, then we have divided the intervals, then x1. Suppose it is next number we have x3, and somewhere we got it is in the next interval, so here it will be the root. Okay, so finally we'll get some smaller interval, maybe we can name it as say an, bn. Okay, this in this interval the root will lie. Okay, but we don't know what is an exact number, so after dividing we get xn plus 1. an bn ला divide केल्यानंतर काय येणार आहे? xn plus 1. Bisection method ना. The name itself suggests that xn plus 1 is equals to an plus bn divided by 2. How you found x1? It is nothing but a naught plus b naught divided by 2. So this method, or this is called a bisection. That's why the name is given a bisection method. Okay, so here we found the root after n plus 1th step, and this is what a correct root. The difference between these two root is going to smaller and smaller as n tends to infinity, and somewhere I have written is less equal by 1 upon 2 raised to n. I think it is b naught minus a naught, right? So as n tends to infinity, what will be the value of error? 1 upon infinity, that is 0. So it means that en plus 1 tends to 0. As n tends to infinity, the error is tending to 0. And what is the question? Smallest positive root. Now, if suppose you want to perform an iteration in such a way that you will get the exact root. Actually, by any of the method, bisection, secant method, Newton Raphson, कुठलीही मेथड तुम्हाला एक्झॅक्ट रूट नाही देणार आहे. ओके, it will give you the approximate root, or maybe the error will be smaller one. The difference between these two, suppose this is x5 and this is exact root. The difference between these two will be smaller and smaller, but it will not give the exact value. So actually, depending on the marks given for that example, maximum marks may be 7. Okay, 7 marks for solving the example by bisection method, or it may have the 5 marks. Okay, so depending on the marks, you can increase the number of iterations. Suppose it is for 5 marks, you can perform the 5 iteration. For 7 marks, you can perform either 6 or 7 iterations. So whenever you are going to increase the number of iteration, you are going to get the more and more approximate answer. Just like this, as n tends to infinity, the error is going to reduce. जितना आप इटरेशन ज्यादा परफॉर्म करोगे, आप एग्जैक्ट रूट के बहुत नजदीक जाओगे, बट यू आर नॉट गेटिंग द एग्जैक्ट रूट ऑफ एन इक्वेशन. Okay, by any of the methods, simply we are getting the root which is very very nearer to your exact root, just like a 0.99999 is very very nearer to your one number. Okay, approximation. So hence this is what we call it as if depending on marks you can choose that how many iterations you have to perform. Sometimes the question may be for 3 marks. So what you will to do, you have to perform only 3 iterations, and you can say the approximate root is the corresponding that answer. Okay. Getting?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Actually, we cannot perform n tends to infinity iterations. No, as n tends to infinity, error will be reducing, but that is not feasible for us to perform that. Okay. Now let us go for the next method, that is method of false position or regular falsy. Method of false position or regular falsy. Okay, actually this is what the oldest method for finding the root of any nonlinear equations. Nonlinear means what? The degree may be greater than 1. Okay, degree is greater than 1. Then it is closely related to our bisection method, and this method is also called as a regular falsy or false position method. Okay, the name itself suggests that first we are going to find out the false position of our root, and then depending on that false position we will find out the exact root of that equation. Now I will take you with one example that I will draw the image of one example. Suppose that, assuming that the intermediate value theorem we have to use. Now here, suppose this is what your function provided to us, y is equal to some function f of x, and the graph of function will assume that this is like this. Okay, so here you can say one is positive, another is negative. Let us assume that here is your bf of b. Okay, and here is one point. Say assume that this is what a f of a. Okay, now what we have to do actually, so let me put this here. So I have to draw the line joining these 2 points, bf of b and af of a. Okay, I will draw a line joining the points bf of b and af of a. Okay, so what we can say, the exact root of the equation will lie here now. So here you will get the value 0 now. F of that corresponding number zeta will be 0 because y coordinate is 0 now. हे काहीतरी value असेल ना x coordinate वर इथे. Suppose whatever may be the values, here it is 0, 1, 2, 3, somewhere it is whatever may be the number here. Okay, so that number we can call it as a zeta, and the corresponding value of y on x coordinate y will be 0. So f of zeta is 0 means what? Y is 0. The corresponding value of is called a root of an equation. Okay, f of zeta is 0. So this is what an exact root of an equation, but we have to find out this. Now for that, what we have to do, we are going to find out the line joining the 2 points, and then this will be the approximate root. Okay, so this approximate root, I can say it is nothing but x1 comma 0. We can say x1 comma 0. This is what a first approximation. So this is what x1 comma 0. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to draw perpendicular here in such a way that now what is the next step, we have to draw again one line here in such a way that it is going to touch your BF of B. Sorry, here not, actually my drawing is not so good, so it is not touching. So here again we get the next step, and call it as x2 comma 0, that means y coordinate is 0. Again draw a perpendicular, again draw a line joining these 2 points BF of B and this one. Okay, and again you will get the next approximation, that is x3. So in this way we have to perform a iteration in such a way that we will reach to very nearer to root zeta of our equation. Okay, as I told you initially that we are going to study these methods. Why? Because some of the polynomial are not possible to solve, or cannot get the root of that equations by our usual methods. Okay, if we are not able to solve by our usual method, we have to take a help of these method. And in this way, as the number of iterations are going to increase, we'll reach to our exact root of our equation. And maybe our polynomial, depending on your polynomial, you can draw the graph and you can get the root in this way. Okay. Okay. What we have to do in this method, we have to choose the 2 points A and B, f of B, which are of opposite sign. That means we have to use the intermediate value theorem. Depending on that, with the help of intermediate value theorem, we have to choose AF of A, BF of B, that we have chosen, and then we have to use a slope formula. What is the formula for slope? Is f of B minus f of A divided by B minus A. Okay. So this formula for slope, I can have this as this f of b, we will put it as y coordinate minus f of a divided by, this is what, x minus a corresponding value. This is what an x, and this will be f of x. F of x is nothing but your y. Okay, with the help of this equation itself, we are going to solve our by false position method, and we'll find out the formula. Okay, and the method consisting of reducing the path of the curve between the 2 points. Okay, we are just going to reduce the path. Okay, here first it is BF of B and AF of A. Then we have joined the points. So what will be this corresponding point? This is nothing but your x1 f of x1, correct? And then it is x2 f of x2. In this way, we are going to reduce the path, and then depending on that, we are going to find out the root. Okay. So in this equation number 1, what we will do, first we'll put y equal to 0 at x equal to x1. Okay, first approximate root. At x equal to x1, y की value क्या है? 0 है. Okay. So let me put up here. This is what f of b minus f of a divided by b minus a. Value of y is 0 and x is equals to x1 minus a. Okay. Now let us go for the next. What we have to do, we have to put it as x1 minus a. It is equals to minus f of a into b minus a divided by f of b minus f of a. Okay. So what is the value of x1 is equals to a plus, or we can write it as again as it is with negative sign, minus, this is what f of a into b minus a divided by f of b minus f of a. Okay, now if I multiply on both sides, then we can get the formula for x1 as, okay, x1 is equals to f of b into a minus a into f of a minus f of a into b, minus minus become plus a into f of divided by f of b minus f of a. Now this 2 get cancelled, plus AF of A minus AF of A, and hence we get x1 is equals to f of b into A minus f of A into B divided by f of b minus f of A. This is what your equation number 2. Okay. Our equation 1, with the help of equation 1, putting the first approximation, that is x1 comma 0, at the point x1, the first approximation, the value of y is 0. Okay. So in this way we got the first approximate root of our equation. And now the procedure, just like the things we have done in our bisection method. What is the procedure now? Can anyone remember what we have to do? F of x1 we have to check if it is 0, x1 is a exact root. Okay. And if it, obviously it will not be equal to 0, no doubt we are not going to get an exact root. What you have to do, we have to check the value of f of a into f of x1, which is either less than 0 or greater than 0. If it is less than 0, it is a to x1. If it is greater than 0, it is x1 to b. Okay. Now, depending on that condition, we have procedure and we have to choose the condition. x2 का ऐसे instead of a, it will be x1 f of b. Depending on that conditions, no, it this we can rename for this one, and depending on that condition, we can change the values of a, b, and just like the thing we have done for our bisection method. ह्याला आपण rename करतो ना. Suppose for x1 we have found it as with a naught and b naught. Suppose it is a naught, b naught. Okay, next step ला काय असेल ह्याला आपण rename करू शकतो ना a1 b1. Okay, for that we can have the value of x2 as f, x1 f of the corresponding values, and hence we can get the formula for x2. And in this way we can continue and we can get the approximation up to xn plus 1 or whatever the things you have to find out. Suppose you want to find out up to x7, x8, and hence in this method the process of iteration converges linearly. Okay, this process of iteration converges linearly. This may be the question for MCQ. The first one we can say bisection method converges slowly, and the false position method converges linearly. That I will show you later on how it converges linearly, because we have to see the rate of convergence of every method. In every method it have a rate of convergence. At that time I will show how it converges linearly. For bisection there is there is not having any proof of how it converges slowly. We can say that as it is an iteration process, so it converges slowly. For linearly I will show you the proof for this. Okay. Any doubt with the method?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you ready to solve an example based on our second method? Sorry, false position method. Let us write down one example. Find the root of our equation. Find the root of an equation. X cube minus 2x minus 5 equal to 0. First try to find out by usual method. If it is not possible, then we'll solve by our method of false position or regular false. Okay. Try kara. Try by using our usual method and tell me if we are not getting the root, then we'll follow the regular falsy method.
Ma'am, this example was for homework.
No doubt this is for homework for bisection, but now Now we are solving for our regular false. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
येतंय का सॉल्व करता? Yes, by usual method, can you solve it?
No, ma'am.
If not, what we have to do, we have to now follow the procedure. What we have done in the method, let us see. Okay, first we have to find out f of a and f of b in such a way that, that means we have to find out a and b in such a way that f of a is positive and f of b is negative or vice versa. In this case, f of a b is positive, f of a is negative. And then we have to follow this process by using our formula for this. Okay, what we have done, simply we have used the formula for slope and then we have drawn the line joining the points f of b, f of a, and then we have drawn a perpendicular, and then again we have reduces the path. Okay, initially path was from b to a, that is f of b to f of a, joining these 2 points. Then the path is reduced to join b f of b, x1 f of x1, and then continuing in this way we can get the root. By using the slope formula, we have got the formula for our regular falsy method. Okay, now as the it was a example for homework, I hope you have done. F of 2 is equals to -1, no? And f of 3 we get it as +1. This is 16. So this is greater than 0 and this is less than 0. So we have found the a naught and b naught in such a way that one is f of a is positive. Oh, sorry, f of a is negative and f of b is positive. Okay. So choosing the interval 2 to 3 is our interval that we have chosen, and then we can say this is what our A naught and B naught. Okay. Now let us go for x1 is equal to, what is the formula for x1 we have found is A naught f of B naught minus B naught f of A naught divided by f of B naught minus f of A naught. Okay. So first we can write it as, this is what f of B naught minus f of A naught. Here is also same, f of B naught minus f of A naught. It is easy for remembering. And then here as f of B naught is there, so you have to multiply by A naught. F of A naught is there, multiply by B naught. A easy way to remember the formula. Okay. Now let us put up the values. X1 is equal to, what is the value of A naught is 2. Okay, what is the value of f of B naught? That is our f of 3. You can also write here as f of B naught, and this is what your f of A naught. Value of f of B naught, we got it as 16 minus f of A naught is minus 1 into B naught, it is 3 divided by f of B naught minus f of A naught. Minus 1 minus 16, which is equal to 16 into 2 plus e divided by minus 17, and sorry, f of B naught we have to choose now, so it is minus 16 plus 1. 16 minus of minus 1, no? F of B naught we have to take it first. That is 16. Minus of minus 1 will be plus 1. So resultant answer is 35 upon 17. Calculate and you can get the answer. What is the answer for x1 is 2.0588. I hope you are solving. Okay, what is the next step? Now we have to find out the value of f of x1. Okay, wherever you have x1 in your equation, put a value of x1 as 2.0588. Okay, f of x1 we got it as minus 0.3907 something. Or you can write it as 8 also. Here again 99 is repeating. So now we have to choose the value of next interval, f of a naught into f of x1. Okay, f of a naught, what is the value of f of a naught? It is minus 1. Minus minus both are with negative sign, so resultant is positive. We can say it is greater than 0. As it is greater than 0, what is the next interval we can choose is x1 to b naught. Okay, what is our x1 is 2.0588, and what is the value of b naught is 3. Okay, b naught is 3, no? So initially what was our interval? Let's form, say suppose it is 0, 1, 2 and 3. हे interval होता ना, आता काय झाला interval? It is near about here 2.0 here. It reduces very small one. And then again, if you go for procedure, you can get the again more and more smaller intervals, and then we can reach to more approximate root of our equation. Okay. Now let us try to find out the next one. For that, we have to rename the interval. That is 2.0588 t 2.0588 is renamed as it is a naught b naught. Now we can rename it as a1 b1. Now what we have to do, we have to find out the value of x2 is equals to a1 f of b1 minus f of a1 b1 divided by f of b1 minus f of a1. Okay, all the values you are knowing, tell me the value of x2 directly.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Bola.
X2 is equal to 2.0812.
2.0812, correct?
Correct, ma'am?
Right, it is correct. 2.0812. I hope everyone getting the same answer. Now let us proceed for the next one. What is the next step? You have to find out the value of f of x2. F of x2, we are getting it as 9.015. Calculate and tell me the value of f of x2. म्यूट करा पुन्हा तर चालू आहे आवाज येते I hope you are getting the answer for f of x2 is minus something. Now let us check the next one, that is we have to choose f of a1 into f of x2. F of a1 into f of x2, what is the value of f of a1 we have? First we have to see what is a1, right? Okay, this x1 b0 we have renamed it as a1 b1. Correct. So the value of x1 is 2.0588. Okay. So x1 is nothing but your a1. So what will be f of a1? That is nothing but your f of x1. हे तुमचा f of a1 असणार ना. After renaming, this x1 is renamed to a1 and b0 is renamed to b1. So value of f of a1 we have is with negative sign, right? Next, value of f of x2 which is also negative. So both are negative. The resultant is again greater than 0. So the root lies in the interval x2 to b1. This we can rename it as next. That is nothing but a2 b2, which is equal to the value of x2 we have calculated, it is 2.0812. The value of b2 will remain as it is. What is the value of b2 is 3. Okay, so initially it is 2 to 3, then it is 2.05 and then it is 2.08. So as the interval is being closer and closer. Okay, and we can observe the values of f of x1, f of x2, all are tending to 0. Okay, calculate the value of x3. x3 is equals to a2 f of b2 minus b2 f of a2 divided by the same term, that is f of b2 minus f of a2. You all have the values of a2, b2, f of a2, f of b2. Okay, what is your a2 is nothing but your x2. Okay, what is your x2? 2.0812. A2 is nothing but your x2, no? Value is 2.0812 into f of b2. That is this one. F of b2, that is nothing but f of 3. f of 3 काय होता आपला is 16 minus b2 is 3. f of a2, what will be the value of f of a2 is? f of a2 means f of 2.0812. That is minus 0.147. This minus become plus 0.147 divided by 16 plus 0.147 and so on. Calculate and tell me the value of x3 is equal to. So now you can check the value of f of x3 is very nearer to 0. It is 0.00. आधी काय होते value 0 point something ना. Okay, what was our value of f of x1? It is 0.398. Right. Next value we have observed it is 0.147. Now next is 0.05. So as you increase the number of iterations, you are f of that number zeta is tending to 0. Okay, and you can observe the change that in the value of x2 and x3 there is not much more change. The value of x2 we have calculated is 2.0812. x3 we have 2.0896. There is no much more difference in that. So you can stop the iterations if you are getting the repeated values. Okay, if the question is for 2 or 3 months. If it is for 5 or 7 months, you have to decide how many iterations you have to perform. Okay, do the calculations and tell me the value of x4. Will perform up to x6. Do the calculations fastly and I will tell you that the approximate root is we will get it as 2.094. Everyone have to calculate the value of x4, x5 and x6. Three values I have told you, x1, x2, x3. Next three you have to find out and tell me the answer.
Hello, mom. X4 is equal to 2.0927.
Okay, it is 2.097. You have to perform up to x6 so that we can get the answer very, very near. If you are getting the answer as 2.09 many times, then we'll stop the iterations. Okay. Have you completed?
Yes, ma'am.
Getting the same answer 2.09. At least everyone should have got it as 2.09. After 9, it may be some number like 4 or 5. Depending on the calci you are using, it may be changing, but at least you should get 2.09. Okay, let us go for the next example. Write the example as x raised to 2.2 is equals to 69. As the question is that this equation has a root between 5 and 8. Use regular falsy method to find out the root. Use the regular falsy method to find out the root. Actually, they have done our starting work. Instead of finding the a and b in such a way that we get the root and all, so they have provided us an interval. Okay, simply we have to find out the values. First, we'll write down the equation f of x is equals to x raised to 2.2 minus 69 is equals to 0. So after that, we'll find out the value of f of I, then we'll find out the value of f of 8. The interval is provided to us 5 to 8, which is nothing but a naught, b naught. This is f of a naught and this is f of b naught. Okay. What is given to us? This equation has a root in between 5 and 8. That means we are provided with the interval we have to find out the approximate root which lies in between these two numbers. Okay, what will be the value of f of 5? 5 raised to 2.2 minus 69. सांगा f of 5 f of 8 काय येणार आहे?
Minus 34.5068.
F of 8
28.005.
okay. So one is negative, another is positive. So obviously the root lies in this interval. Now let us directly find out the value of x1 is equals to a naught f of b naught minus f of a naught into b naught divided by okay, calculate all these values because we have the value of a naught is 5 into f of b naught is 28.005 minus f of a naught is minus 34.5067 into b naught is 8 divided by 28.005 plus 34.5067. Calculate and tell me the answer for x1. x1 I am getting it as 6.655. Whether you get the same?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Similarly, now find out the value of f of x1. The same procedure we have to follow. Next, we have to check the value of f of a naught into f of x1. Now, in this step, you have to tell me whether which interval we have to choose. Okay. Calculate and tell me which interval we have to choose.
Ma'am, the next interval is x1 to b naught.
You have to tell me the numbers. What is x1, what is b naught, and
From 6.65599 to 8.
yes, correct. And now you have to rename it as what is the rename A1 B1, right? You have to
Yes,
rename
ma'am.
X1 B naught as A1 B1. Why you are lifting the meeting? Prajatta Swami, Ishwar Katke, many have left the meeting. Yeah, for that, we will put the only recorded lecture. Now, why to waste the time? I will not allow to solve the example and all. Simply, I will show one method, one example, remaining for you people. Okay, x2 is equal to a1 f of b1 minus f of a1 b1 divided by f of b1 minus f of a1. Now, what is our a1 b1? Let me write down the value of f of a1 b1 is 6.655, and you can keep it as 8 also, as it is 899 is. So, choose the values and tell me the value of x2. Okay, a1 f of b1. F of b1 means f of 8. F of 8 already we have calculated.
X2 equal to 7.3979.
I have something is wrong. Will you please calculate once again? A1 is 6.655. F of B1 means f of 8. F of 8 is 28.005 minus f of A1 is 4.2756. F of A1 means what? F of 6.6. That is nothing but your f of x1. B1 we have it is 8. Divided by 28.005 minus minus become plus. Is it with negative sign? F of x1 minus 4.27. Here it will be positive. Minus minus become plus. So this is 4.27. Have you calculated?
Ma'am, 6.8340.
6.8340. Okay, correct. Now let us check the value of f of x2 is equals to, I will write directly f of x2 is minus 0.4061, right? As it is 0.4, so now we are tending to 0. F of x1 का था 4 point होता ना, minus 4 point, so it is not tending to 0. Now f of x2 is tending to 0. F of x1 काय होता आपला minus 4 point something. F of x2 we are getting it as minus 0.4. So now we are tending to 0. Right? So this 6.83 will be the root. Now we'll calculate the next one as the next interval that we can choose is actually again the value of f of a1 into f of x2 is greater than 0 because both are negative. So resultant is greater than 0 and hence the new interval that we can choose is a2 b2 is equal to 6.8348. Now x3 is equal to x3, I will write it as a2 f of b2 minus f of a2 b2 divided by f of b2 minus f of a1. Let me calculate the value. It is 6.85 something. x3. Similarly, calculate the value of x4. And if it is also 6.85, we'll stop the iterations. हे पण approximately 6.85 च्या जवळ आला तर stop करू शकतो आपण iterations. Okay, calculate this one x4. Are you getting the answer x4 as x 6.85?
Yes, ma'am.
6.85, something that is also true.
06.
Correct. Okay. Now, as you are going to appear for not for physical examination, because it is already declared that in the April we have to take the online examination. So you have to be ready for maybe it is physical or it is a online examination. So for that I will show one shortcut method. If it will be helpful for your MCQ examination. Okay. Write down the example x cube minus 18 is equals to 0. This is the example we have to solve. Now let me write down it. That means first we'll find out what is f of 0. It is minus 18, which is less than 0. F of 1 is minus 17. F of 2 is minus 10. All are less than 0. Let me take the value of f of 3. It is 9. So now which interval we can choose is 2 to 3. This is negative, this is positive. You can choose 0 to 3 also, but that will be very big. So you can choose 2 to 3 interval. Okay. What you have to do in this shortcut method, number of iterations will count here. This is the value of a and b. This may be a naught, b naught, a1, b1 and so on. Okay. Here is a value of x1, x2 and so on. Here will be the value of corresponding f of x1, f of x2 and so on. Draw this table for this example and we will get the root in minimum time. This is first iteration, second iteration, third, fourth, fifth and so on. Now what the interval we have chosen is, we have chosen the interval as 2 to 3. What will be x1? 2 plus 3 divided by 2, that is 5 by 2. 5 by 2 का असेल
2.5.
X1.
2.5. Directly take your calci and calculate f of 2.5. काय करायचं 2.5 into 2.5 raised to 3 minus 80. Calculate it and you can.
Minus 2.375.
Okay. Next, what we have to choose now? We have to see the values. What the values we have to check? F of a naught into f of x1. Okay. What is the value of f of 2? F of 2 is negative. And what is the value of f of x1? This is also negative, right? If both are negative, what will be the next interval? A naught to x1, right? So this is 2 to 2.5. A naught to x1. If both are both are negative, no? So
Ma'am, it's
result
2.5 to 3.
X1 to
correct. It's 2.5 to 3. Both are negative, resultant is positive. Now let us take 3 plus 2.5. Now we are solving this all with the bisection method. No? 3 plus 2.5, that is divided.
2.75.
Correct, 2.75. And the corresponding value of f of x, f of 2.75. सांगा f of 2.75.
2.7967.
2.79.
Correct. Now we have to check the value of f of a naught into f of 2.5 into f of 2.75. f of 2.5 काय आहे? Minus. f of 2.75 it is plus. These two are opposite of each other. What will be the next interval? 2.5 to 3. Sorry, to 2.5 to
2.75.
a naught to x1. This is what the third iterations. Then add them divided by 2. 2.5 plus 2.75 divided by 2, it will be 2.625. Calculate the value of f of 2.625, which is at 0.087. This is tending to 0. Next, if we have to now check the value of f of 2.5 into f of 2.65. F of 2.65 0.08. F of 2.5, what is the value of f of 2.5? Ether 2.5. Corresponding f of 2.5, this is negative, this is positive. The next root will lie in the interval 2.5 to 2.625. This is what your fourth iterations. Add them and then we can get the next point, that is 2.5625. In this way you can perform the iteration. Sanga f of 2.5625
minus 1.174.
minus 1.173 something. Now let us perform the fifth iteration. Now this is what f of 2.5, which is negative. F of 2.5625, that is also negative. So next root will lie in the interval 2. ISL interval x1 to b naught, no? 2.5625 to 2.625. 2.5 is here, 2.6 is there. Very small interval, this one. Add them and divide by 2, we get 2.59375. The corresponding value of f of 2.59 t, it is minus 0.5504. In this way, we can perform the iteration. Perform it and tell me the value at 7th iterations. Simply, you have to perform the 2 iterations. सांगा काय आहे ते आफ्टर 7th इटरेशन.
मॅम एक्स ची व्हॅल्यू का?
x ची व्हॅल्यू.
2.6172.
Correct. Whether everyone got the same answer 2.61? At least
Yes, ma'am.
2.61 पर्यंत आला पाहिजे. At least three numbers should be same. Okay, so this is what the way in which we can get the root very easily, fastly. Okay, let me go for the next method, that is Newton-Raphson method. Okay, this method we can derive by both way, either by graphical representation or we can draw this. We can derive this method by using our Taylor series. Okay, first we'll go with the graphical interpretation. Suppose that this is your function y is equals to f of x. Okay. Then we'll choose the first approximation x naught by assuming this one. Draw a line here. Okay, I will draw the. Draw a line perpendicular here, so we will get this is what our first approximation x naught. Assume that this is first approximation, say x naught. Again, we have to draw a line which is touching your x-axis with some an angle theta, and then whatever the line we are getting, this is what your x1, the new value, that is new approximation, and then draw perpendicular with the help of x1, that is from your curve to x1, wherever you are getting this one. Okay. Next, what you have to do, again you have to draw a line which is touching your x-axis. Again, draw a line perpendicular to this one. This is what x2. And this works with some an angle theta next. And then continuing in this way, we'll get the exact root, that is zeta. Okay. So what will be this one? This is x1, f of x1. And what will be this point? x2, f of x2. And so on. Okay. So now we are going to derive this with the help of graphical interpretation as what is the value of tan theta? Sanga, tan theta from the graph considering this triangle. हे काय असेल if this is the point x naught f of x naught, हे काय असेल y axis, this is f of x naught. Can you tell me the value of tan theta from the graph? काय असतो tan theta? Opposite side upon adjacent side ना? Opposite side काय आहे tan theta ला? What is an
X not.
f of x naught ना?
Yes, ma'am.
divided by adjacent side काय असेल x1 to x0 which
x1
is
minus x0.
correct. So now we can have this as x1 minus x0 is equal to f of x0 divided by tan theta. Now tan theta is nothing but slope of a tangent at a point. Na? Slope of a tangent at a point is given by tan theta. This is nothing but your slope of tangent is first derivative, correct? Can anyone explain me why f dash I have written as tan theta? Why f dash is tan theta? Let it be. So it is x1 minus x0. We have to write it as f of x0 divided by f dash of x1. So we can write x1 is equals to x1. Sorry, it should be x0
मॅम
minus.
ते डेरिव्हेटिव्ह म्हणजेच स्लोप काढतो ना आपण, मग टॅन
Oh,
थिटा म्हणजे पण स्लोप काढतो, म्हणून ते एफ डॅश इज इक्वल टू टॅन थिटा.
correct. So it is x0 minus x1. So we can write x1 is equal to x0 minus f of x0 divided by f dash of x1. So in this way we have found the first approximation, that is x1. Okay, now what is the next step? We can find out x2 as x1 minus f of x1 divided by f dash of x1. What will be x3? x3 is x2 minus f of x2 divided by f dash of x2. But this method will be not helpful when the value of f dash is tending to 0, is equal to 0. F dash, if it is equal to 0, this will be 1 upon 0 is not defined quantity. Okay, so that's why now we can write in general as xn plus 1 is equals to xn minus f of xn divided by f dash of xn. What we have done, we have taken one curve, then what we have drawn a perpendicular from the curve to x-axis, that is what your x0. Okay, next we have drawn a line in such a way that it touches the x-axis in such a way we get the next approximation x1. Then draw a line perpendicular with from your curve to x1. Then follow the same procedure. By following the same procedure, you will reach to the root zeta. Now, what is the slope of a tangent? It is given by tan theta, or we can say it is nothing but our first derivative f dash. Then find out the value of tan theta from our first one. This is an angle theta. Tan theta will be opposite side upon adjacent side. Is as x naught is greater, so we can write it as x1 naught minus x1, and hence we get the value of x1 as x naught minus f of x0 divided by f dash of x0. If you calculate the value of x1, we can calculate x2. Depending on value of x2, we can calculate x3, and in such a way that we get the value of xn plus. Okay. In the next lecture, we'll go how to find out or how to derive this by using Taylor series. Okay. Is there any doubt related to anything, lecture, my teaching,
हो मॅडम,
anything?
मला एक डाऊट होता. तो तुम्ही शॉर्टकट काढण्यासाठी इंटरवल मध्ये ए बी ते केलं ना, मग ते इंटरवल्स तुम्ही कसं चूज केले ते एकदा सांगा नक्कीच. ए टू बी कसं केलं? हा, तर इथं 2 3 होतं 2.5 एफ ऑफ एक्स एक काहीतरी याला -2.375
हा
नंतर
आपली
पुन्हा
मेथड काय बायसेक्शन मेथड आपण काय चूज करतो इथे 2 to 3 आला हे तर आपण ऑब्विसली बाय ट्रायल अँड एरर मेथड करतो ना 2 + 3 काय
5
5
ला डिवायडेड
5
बाय
by
2
2 which is 2.5 okay. Now what is f of 2.5 we have to write down here. What is the next step? What is our aim to find out the root? We have to now check the condition of f of a naught into f of x1. f of a naught काय आहे तुमचा f of 2. f of 2 ची व्हॅल्यू आपल्याकडे ऑलरेडी आहे. f of 2 काय आहे निगेटिव्ह आहे ना
-18
okay -10 it is negative. f of 2 is negative into f of x1 f of 2.5 f of 2.5 कुठे असणार आहे इथे असणार आहे करस्पॉन्डिंग लाईनला हे पण निगेटिव्ह आहे दोन्ही निगेटिव्ह असेल तर काय येणार आहे रूट विल लाई इन द नेक्स्ट इंटरवल दॅट इज x1 to b0 बरोबर x1 काय आहे आपला 2.5 b0 काय आहे 3 आहे सो राईट डाउन हियर इन द व्हेरी सिमिलर वे वी हैव टू फॉलो द नेक्स्ट राईट. Now we have to add these two bisection method. Bisection means we have to add them and then we have to divide by 2.5 plus 3 divided by 2 it is 2.7. 2.75 इथे असेल तर f of 2.75 इथे असणार आहे right. What we have to do now? We have to check the value of f of a1 into f of
x2
x2. Okay, f of a1 काय असेल f of 2.5 f of 2.5 is negative f of x2 that is your f of 2.75 it is positive one is negative another is positive so root lies in the interval a1 to x2 okay a1 to x2 असेल तर a1 काय आहे तुमचा 2.5 हे ॲज इट इज खाली घ्यायचं ओके x2 काय आहे आपण कॅल्क्युलेट केले 2.75 ओके गेटिंग मी
येस मॅम कळालं
नाही कळालं का
कळालं मॅडम थँक्यू
if you are getting it say yes otherwise you can say no then we can repeat it. जे मेथड मध्ये केलं ना बायसेक्शन मेथड मध्ये तिथे आपण लिहितो ना सगळं
ते लिहितो ना आपण ते एकदम मला वाटलं असं कसं आलं म्हणून टेन्शन नाही बाकी काय थँक्यू मॅडम
so at that time we are writing every step we are not writing every step here in this table okay we have to do the calculations in our mind
ओके
सगळं आहे ते फक्त आपल्याला कुठली व्हॅल्यू कुठे okay anyone else having any other type of a doubt have you completed your study integral equation
Hello, ma'am.
ha
Ma'am, it is about the assignment. Ma'am, you have sent the Word file. What happens is that when we open the Word files, I mean the Word file that you have sent, it is not just me, other classmates also have faced this, that the symbols are disturbed, ma'am. Some symbols are going up, some are going down. The equation is not properly framed. So can
okay
you send the PDF
I will
file,
show
ma'am?
what to do for that. Let me join it with my mobile. In the mobile itself, I will show how to download this. And you will get all the symbols. Okay. The same I will join by the mobile so that you can also operate it on mobile. How to download that. Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, your mic is off.
Okay, what we have to do, let me show you once again, as my mic was off. Okay, this is what your classroom. In the classroom, we have MSc second year student, and in the classwork, the assignments of TG we can open. See, this one you can see. मला तर इथे काय symbol हे दिसले नाही. Here it is, arrow is missing. Okay. Everyone able to see this symbol arrow? 3 dot च्या पुढे दिसतंय का एक symbol? Hello?
हा मॅडम दिसतंय. 3 डॉटच्या अलीकडे आहे ना?
Oh.
ते arrow. हा, ओके. दिसतंय.
Then click on that symbol. Now you can see all the symbols very clearly, or even you can have this as download it. Okay, you can see the option of download.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, after downloading, so this will be downloaded. In the files we can see this. I don't know where it goes. Let's just see. You can see here open with is also option. Open, after clicking on open with, you can select a word. Selecting a word, this file will be open in Word file. Only one mistake is there. X is a mapping from E2 to E3. The symbol of arrow is not in the proper place. All other things are in this same proper place, right? Are you getting? Okay, do it on your mobile phone itself and tell me fastly. तुमच्या मोबाईल मध्ये करून बघा डाउनलोड होते का किंवा ओपन विथ वर्ड फाइल you can open it with word file. There are so many options for that after clicking on this 3 dot. ते arrow आहे ना त्या arrow वर क्लिक केल्यानंतर इथे options दाखवतात. Very many options are there. Share, add to start, make a copy, open with, download, move. You can download it or you can open with. If you click on open with, it may open in Word file or maybe whatever the options you have. Do it and tell me fastly. Have you got it?
हॅलो मॅम.
Oh.
होत नाही आहेत मॅम, ते क्वेश्चन्स नीट नाही आहेत. काय काय को इक्वेशन्स.
तुम्ही शेअर स्क्रीन करून दाखवा काय केलं.
हां ओके मॅम. हॅलो मॅम, इथं हे इक्वेशन इंटिग्रेशन 0 to x इकडं आलंय कोपऱ्यात वगैरे.
इंटिग्रल इक्वेशनचा म्हणता येतं मग.
हो, हां इंटिग्रल इक्वेशनचं म्हणतोय मॅम. आणि ते सेकंड क्वेश्चन मध्ये पण आहे ना, ते एफ ऑफ टी इज इक्वल टू ते इक्वेशन पूर्ण नीट.
मी करून बघते.
हां
माझी स्क्रीन दिसतंय का आता?
नो मॅम.
मला तर दिसतंय ना. कुठे प्रॉब्लेम आहे, कुठल्या क्वेश्चन मध्ये सांगा.
मॅम थर्ड क्वेश्चन.
थर्ड क्वेश्चन.
हां इनिशियल
ते
व्हॅल्यूज
प्लसच्या
ऑफ.
नंतर त्यांनी स्पेस दिली आहे. ऍक्च्युली
हां
ते स्पेस नाही आहे.
आणि
ओके, मी काय
सेकंड.
करते तुम्हाला इंटिग्रल इक्वेशनचे असाइनमेंट परत एकदा वर्ड फाईल मध्ये अपलोड करते instead of
हां
Ma'am,
PDF.
upload in the form of PDF, ma'am.
It is already in the form of PDF.
No, ma'am. When we open it, opens in Word file, ma'am.
Okay, I will do it on a PDF. Then I will share. Okay, before that, we'll solve this problem easily. Let me show you one more thing. Go to your Play Store. In the Play Store, someone asked me about what to do if you're not having a laptop or PC for latex. So we have one more app. We can search it as verb takes latex editor. दिसतंय सगळ्यांना?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, verb takes editor, then you can install, as I am also installing just now. Actually, it looks like this one. So you can whatever the things we have in our laptop or PC, the same thing will appear here. And if you click on the generate, it will generate a PDF whatever we have run the program. Okay, it is downloaded. Now we can open it. Actually, I have to allow this all. Now you can select the new project mode. Login and registration. Actually, मैंने भी अभी download किया है. So first you have to register and then you can go for that. Right? Actually, you can use this for your project. So that's why I shown you that how to download it, and verb text will look like just like a latex, whatever it is in laptop and all. Yeah, here we can register. After registering, we can have the next one. That is, we can have the symbol of. Let me show you what is. मेरे पास एक्चुअली फाइल नहीं है जो मैंने इस पे टाइप नहीं किया है, तो एक्चुअली ये मैनुअल भी है, आप ये भी रीड कर सकते हो। और जब आप यहाँ पे जनरेट पे सिलेक्ट करोगे और सेव करोगे ना फाइल, so it will generate this one, or you can have here generate and save. After generating and save, you can save the file, and these are what interface, and you can see this video. I think they are going to show you how to run the latex on your mobile. हे व्हिडिओ बघा, तुम्हाला कसं टाईप करायचं आहे, कुठले इक्वेशन्स कसे टाईप करायचे. देन यू कॅन हॅव लॉग फाईल. In that log file, you can download your PDF. Okay, do it for your project, because many हे जे वर्ड फाईल आता तुम्ही सांगितलेत ना, हे सिम्बॉल इकडे तिकडे जातात डेरिव्हेटिव्ह इंटिग्रेशनचे, ते प्रॉब्लेम तुम्हाला नाही होणार तुमच्या प्रोजेक्ट मध्ये. हे खूप ऍडजस्टमेंट करावं लागतं ना जर आपण वर्ड फाईल मध्ये केलं. I hope you will download it and you can try. Okay. Okay, you can leave the meeting. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
What about seminars?
Seminars. Will tell you today. I will ask Tinga ma'am what to do about your seminars, and I will tell you.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.